We chose to make an offensively minded team in Gen 7, and help Dragonite act as a linchpin stall breaker, while being flexible against revenge killers. Wanted to go back to basics, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So we went back to Choice Band Dragonite. It's our basic coverage set, but we chose to run Outrage instead of Dragon Claw this time around, as Earthquake and Stone Edge would absolutely rock it. Extreme Speed was there to help us get insurance against threats like Choice Specs for Ninja and Tapu Koko. For our Mega, we chose to run Mega Gyarados. It helps provide some fantastic wall breaking, and was especially good against Mega Sableye back stall teams. Intimidate would offer some additional setup, and Stone Edge was chosen specifically to bait in and remove Zapdos, which was otherwise ruinous to deal with. For our more traditional form of speed control, we chose to run Choice Scarf Jirachi. Scarf Ironhead has a habit of just ruining games, and it provided some additional insurance against Mega Scizor teams thanks to its really fast Fire Punch. Trick could also help dismantle stall if we needed it to. For our Z move user, we chose to run Ash Greninja. Nothing crazy here. Z Hydro Pump is just disgusting, and its speed alongside Ice Beam and Dark Pulse helps us scare out damaging threats like Latios and the Tapus. Overall, it did great at wall breaking and revenge killing, and that's what we needed it to do. For our defensive backbone, we chose Sinless Landorus as an offensive stealth rocker, and Latios as our defensive defogger. Landorus could get stealth rocks up pretty consistently, while throwing out just really strong attacks. Knockoff is always good to punish switches. U-turn is good at getting in our frail Pokemon more and more throughout the game. And our defensive Latios makes its debut as a defogger, as its Cold Berry lets us survive pursuit on Mega Charizard teams, and it's great at walling the vast majority of special attackers in the game. Thunder Wave helps threats that can be crippled, and it lets Latios 1v1 fights that it normally shouldn't be engaging in. We ended this generation 9-1. Pretty good for a gen we don't often play. Dragonite was alright. It would normally go 1 for 1, but against the few stall teams that we did see, it kinda popped off. The combination of Mega Gyarados and Greninja would often dogpile checks and slowly overwhelm the opponent under offense. It would make games over after like the first endurance, honestly. It gave us some hope that Dragonite would be able to keep his streak going into Gen 8.
In Gen 8, we had to go with a Dragon Dance set due to the absolute brokenness of the heavy-duty booties in this generation. Multiscale's greatest weakness with Dragon Dance sets in the past was that it's easily broken by Stealth Rock. With boots, however, we could get a dance off no matter the battle conditions. With our team overall, however, we chose Violence and went with the most unoriginal, boring stall team you could think of. We picked up Skarmory for spike setting and phasing, just to deal with dangerous physical attacks like Weavile. Heatran completed our double steel core with Flame Body to be annoying, and to act as a great Stealth Rock setter. Toxic and Lava Plume would passively break down the opposing team over time, and Rest ensured that we could do it forever. Rest would give opportunity to opponents, however, so we also chose to bring Heal Bell Blissey for full stall. It was great at denying special attack and momentum, and would neutralize threats thanks to Thunder Wave, allowing us to find openings. Teleport would have been nice, but Heal Bell was too important to enable Heatran, and to answer threats like Tapu Lele. For a win condition against opposing stall, we brought Calm Mind Clefable, as left unchecked it could auto-win games. Flamethrower is the coverage move of choice to hit Melmetal, and Ferrothorn more effectively, and Moonblast and Recover were great at slowly chipping away at defensive cores. Finally, for some insurance against offense, we brought Zorora. Its good speed and deep move pool enable it to act flexibly during the game, whether it be by helping Dragonite revenge kill and keep offense at bay, or by knocking off items on the opposing team during balance games, where they'd pivot between hazard immune Pokemon. It was flexible, and it did great. At the end of this generation, we pulled a 9-1 record, which was good. Our games were often boring and slow, but that's the nature of this team. Go at our own pace. And Dragonite was pretty consistently useful. Against certain teams, it would give the dance off and smash open important holes, while other games would act defensively to scare away control threats that the defensive core would enable. Zorora was also a superstar, and the team always put in work together. We were hoping to keep up the 9-win streak going into our final generation.
For Gen 9, the meta was overloaded with ridiculously powerful threats, and it just reeks of power creep. So we decided to take full advantage of this with a hyper offense team. Starting off with our Dragonite, we opted for a heavy-duty boost to keep multiscale up. Went with Dragon Dance with E-Speed, Earthquake, Ice Spinner, since our team lacked Ice-type coverage. Another physical threat we added was Iron Boulder. It outspeeds pretty much the entire meta using booster energy. Then you can set up a Source Dance, it sweeps with Mighty Cleaves and Headbutt at close combat, and it's pretty much over. We could even boost with Terra Fighting. Next up, on the special side, we went with a Contrary Superior, taking advantage of the Stellar Terra type with Leaf Storm and Terra Blast. Then we ran Substitute and Taunt to dodge status effects that could otherwise slow us down. For a second special threat, we had Volcarona with the ubiquitous heavy-duty boots and the standard Quiver Dance set, with Fiery Dance, Bug Buzz, and Terra Water, Terra Blast. With all this offense, we decided we wanted to have some utility and pivoting, so we went with Hisuian Samurott. With Assault Vest to allow for switching into special attackers, particularly Golden Go, we went with Sucker Punch, Ceaseless Edge, Flip Turn, and Knockoff. It's great utility, can't beat it. Lastly, we needed a lead and ended up with Focus Sash, Suicide, Glamora. Hacking Mortal Spin, Sludge Waves, Stealth Rocks, and Memento, along with Terra Ghost to block opposing rapid spins. This gave us tempo really early in the game to kickstart off our offense. We ended this journey with Doc with a 9-1. Teamwork pretty much as it advertised. Glamora was surprisingly consistent as a lead, sometimes even grabbing a kill with a Sludge Wave against a Fairy, in addition to setting up rocks and Toxic Spikes. Samurott's utility was very nice in taking care of any items, giving priority when we needed it, or at least spreading spikes to aid in the sweep. Superior and Iron Boulder were superstars, sweeping multiple teams and winning the game just ridiculously quickly. Volcarona didn't really sweep too often, but it was often just used to threaten winning the game and forcing the switch. And lastly, Doc was somewhat synergistic. It was a powerful threat that could pressure down opponents. Couldn't really match the power of our other superstars, but Superior and Iron Boulder are honestly pretty broken, and Dragonite being able to add some value and extra pressure was still important, even if some games we didn't really do it too much. Overall, we did great. Super happy with it.
We ended up ranking the gens based off of how well Dragonite performed in them, and came up with this ranking. Starting at the bottom, Dragonite really struggled in Gen 3. With no multiscale yet, it lacked bulk to set up Dragon Dances, and Salamence was just better. In Gen 6, Dragonite had good moments, but a weakness policy set lacked consistency. Maybe it could have done better with a better set. In Gen 9, we had a good record, and Dragonite was good, but power creep is so big in this gen that being good simply isn't good enough. To succeed in Gen 9 OU, you need to be doing something broken. In Gen 7, it was very middle of the road. Dragonite would often trade 1-for-1 and was a good performer on the team, but never anything special. In Gen 1, attempting to wrap means a heavy reliance on paralysis. Dragonite did well and often played an integral role, but that was with the team basically built around him. Trying to make the wrap work meant little flexibility in how our team would operate, and set a ceiling for itself due to this. In Gen 2, having Curse with extreme speed to offset speed loss is a unique thing only Dragonite can do, and it worked well. Nothing completely broken, but it was a unique niche and was a solid set. Getting into our top 3, Gen 4 was a perfect record. Dragonite played a big part in that. We still feel like the team carried him a bit. Choice Band is undoubtedly a strong set, and Dragonite did great, but other members of the team arguably did better. In Gen 8, Dragonite was the star of the team alongside Zorora. These two threats were able to come in once our defensive core had whittled down the opponent, and reliably swept the opponent up. Along with the heavy-duty booties being added, this generation set Dragonite up for success. Lastly, our top gen for Dragonite is Gen 5. Dragmag is both a very popular team in the meta and has a good win rate, which is the sign of being a top-rate team in a meta. And Dragonite is an integral part of these teams. Without his existence, the meta would likely look at least somewhat different, with Dragmag needing to find a subpar substitute. Truly an environment where Dragonite's full potential can be displayed.